Hi everyone. Today I'm going to talk about something that's maybe a little bit off the beaten path for this channel so far, but I want to introduce some of my interests outside of physics and maths and science. Um, so I'm going to talk about one of my current sort of fascinations and interests, which is with um, ancient Rome, and it's part of my sort of general project to inform myself a little bit more um, about history. Um, and so I've been listening for the last, month or two, I guess, to the History of Rome podcast by Mike Duncan, which, if you're also interested in ancient Rome, which maybe you are if you, clicked on this video, then I think that's a really good place to start. Um, he just gives you a general introduction to most of the main events and the overall span of Roman history without it being super long or intimidating or being too granular in detail and having too much information to process. And then at the same time, I'm reading Mary Beard's SPQR, which rehashes many of the points in the podcast, but seeing the same things over and over again reinforce them in your mind. And that's also pretty good um, introductory history. And since both are following, roughly the same events and chronology, I can sort of read and listen, in parallel. So that's going pretty well. And then I thought I'd show some other resources I have, because that might be interesting to some people. So, firstly, I have this biography of Cicero by Anthony Everett, um, which actually I've read before, and it's really a great biography. Um, so yeah, I have read this before, as I said, but after reading a little bit more about the history of Cicero, I'm gonna dive into this biography again. And apart from this, I'm also busy actually learning Latin. Um, so I'm using Lingua Latina per se illustrata, which that's like maybe the most famous Latin textbook that most people use. Um, So yeah, eventually I'd like to be able to read Cicero's works in Latin too, but I'm only on chapter 6 of Lingua Latina so far, and there are 35 chapters in the first part, and then I think there are 35. Anyway, then there are a bunch in the second part too, so it might take me a while before I'm able to tackle a classic author. Um, but yeah, I'm only studying about 15 minutes a day too, so it's gonna take some time. At some point, I'll probably start studying more intensively, but 15 minutes a day is what I'm doing at the moment. Okay, then apart from this, I've also got this huge book. That's not that huge, but it's pretty big. It's a history of private life, and the editors are Philip Ariès and Georges Duby. I'm gonna Philippe Ariès and Georges Duby sound like French names. Um, and yeah, they wrote this um, massive 5 volume work. Oh, it's not only them; there are other editors too. But um, this history of private life, put out by Harvard, and it's actually a 5 volume set that goes here on the back. Volume one that I have here is from pagan Rome to Byzantium. But I have all 5 volumes. So the next one is Feudal Europe to the Renaissance. Um, and then after that, volume three is from the Renaissance to the Enlightenment. Uh, then volume four is from the French Revolution to the Great War. And then volume five is the First World War to our time. I'm not sure exactly what our time means. I'm not sure when this came out, but basically 20th century um, stuff by the sounds of it. So yeah, pretty interesting history book that I inherited from an uncle of mine. So eventually I'll get around to reading this too. But I have lots of other stuff on my plate and lots of other interests. So this is a sort of slow side project. But yeah, I thought I'd show you some interesting books and talk about some interesting resources to do with ancient Rome. You know, if you're interested in uh, learning about the history or the literature or the philosophy or all of the above about Rome, then some of these books and resources may be of interest to you. Okay, if you enjoyed watching this video, please like and subscribe. Thank you for watching.